This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Take a moment to look at your hands. Look at the strength you once took for granted. If you are over 60, there is a terrifying reality that no one in a white coat is telling you. You aren't just getting older, you are entering a state of metabolic stagnation. Think of a once clear stream that has been blocked by debris. The water stops flowing. It becomes dark, thick, and toxic. Life within it begins to suffocate. This is exactly what is happening inside your arteries and your organs right now. When your pancreas begins to fail, your blood becomes that stagnant pond. It is no longer a river of life. It becomes a corrosive sludge saturated with excess glucose that your body can no longer process. This sludge doesn't just sit there. It actively destroys. It erodes the very foundation of your physical independence, your muscles. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We are here because the standard narrative about aging is a trap, and we refuse to let you fall into it. You have likely been told that once you hit 60, your internal machinery just wears out. You've been told that your pancreas, specifically those precious insulin-producing beta cells, are like light bulbs that have finally flickered out for good. They tell you that your only option is to manage the decline with a pharmacy's worth of pills, waiting for the day the needles become a necessity. I'm here to tell you that this perspective is not just outdated, it is dangerously wrong. The stagnation you are feeling is not a permanent death of your cells. It is a shutdown. Your body has a hidden program, a biological blueprint for regeneration that is still coded into your DNA. The stem cells are still there. The growth signals are waiting, but they are buried under a mountain of chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. If you don't act now to clear this stagnation, the stagnant pond inside you will continue to rot your muscles from the inside out, a process known as sarcopenia, which leaves you fragile and helpless. But there is a way to turn the flow back on. There are 5 specific, humble foods that hold the keys to this cellular prison. They don't just manage the problem. They provide the exact chemical signals required to wake up those dormant progenitor cells and begin the impossible, rebuilding your pancreas from the ground up. By the end of this journey, you will realize that your expired pancreas is actually a factory that has been waiting for the right foreman to show up and restart the engines. This is a turning point for your health. If you are ready to stop the rot and reclaim the strength that belongs to you, make sure to subscribe to EldraFit Nutrition. Your support is the fuel that allows us to continue bringing you these deep dive scientific truths that the mainstream often ignores. Together, we can rewrite the story of what it means to live and thrive after 60. Before we move into the specific science of the first food, I want you to take a second to reflect on your own journey. This is a moment for honest self-assessment. Which of these feels more true for you right now? I feel like my body is a stagnant pond, and I'm losing my strength and energy every day. B, I believe my body is a hidden factory that just needs the right tools to restart and rebuild. Please comment A or B below. Your answer helps us understand where you are starting from, and it helps this community realize they are not alone in this fight. To understand why your muscles are vanishing after 60, we have to look past the gym and look directly at the pancreas. We often think of insulin as just a blood sugar hormone, but for anyone over 60, insulin is actually the master porter of the body. Imagine your muscle cells are grand estates that require constant deliveries of bricks and mortar to stay standing. Those bricks are proteins and amino acids. Insulin is the delivery truck. When your beta cells are dying and your insulin production becomes weak and erratic, the delivery trucks stop showing up at the gates of your muscles. This is the hidden tragedy of the failing pancreas. You can eat all the protein in the world, you can take all the supplements available, but if the insulin signal is muffled, that protein never reaches its destination. It sits in the blood, useless, while your muscles begin to self-cannibalize. This is the biological definition of wasting. Your body, desperate for energy and unable to pull sugar or protein into the cells, begins to break down its own structural tissue. It starts with the thighs, making it harder to stand up from a chair. It moves to the arms, making it a struggle to carry groceries. It eventually reaches the core, stealing your balance and your dignity. But the horror of a failing pancreas goes deeper than just a lack of delivery. When blood sugar is chronically high because your beta cells can no longer produce a strong pulse of insulin, that sugar acts like a chemical acid. It undergoes a process called glycation, where sugar molecules literally caramelize the proteins in your body. It's like pouring syrup into a delicate watch mechanism. This glycation creates advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, a fitting acronym because they are the primary drivers of rapid aging. These AGEs cross-link with your muscle fibers, making them stiff, weak, and prone to tearing. You aren't just losing muscle volume, you are losing muscle quality. The tissue that remains becomes marbled with fat and scarred by inflammation. This is the link that most endocrinologists never explain. Your muscle loss isn't just a sign of old age, it is a direct symptom of pancreatic failure. When the stagnant pond of high sugar blood circulates through your limbs, it actively poisons the satellite cells, the stem cells responsible for repairing muscle damage. So, not only is your body failing to build new muscle, it has lost the ability to repair the muscle you already have. You are in a state of constant, uncompensated breakdown. However, the beauty of the human body lies in its interconnectedness. Just as a failing pancreas destroys the muscle, a regenerating pancreas can save it. When we use the 5 foods I'm about to share to protect existing beta cells and stimulate the birth of new ones, we aren't just fixing your blood sugar. We are restoring the master porter. We are getting those delivery trucks back on the road. When your insulin signal becomes sharp and efficient again, your muscle cells finally open their gates. The protein you eat is finally put to work. The syrup is cleared from the gears. The stagnation ends, and the flow of strength returns. This is why the protocol we are discussing today is the most powerful weapon you have against the frailty of aging. To stop the rot and reclaim your vitality, we must first address the toxic battlefield inside your abdomen. For those of you over 60, the stagnant pond I described earlier has created a microscopic environment of smoke and mirrors where your beta cells can no longer see the signals they need to survive. This is where our strategy of clean and protect begins. We start with the humble broccoli sprout, a tiny plant that holds a biological master key called sulforaphane. When your body is under the assault of high blood sugar, your beta cells are being worked to death, generating massive amounts of free radicals as a byproduct of their struggle. Because these cells have naturally low antioxidant defenses, they are defenseless against this internal fire. Sulforaphane enters the scene not as a simple nutrient, but as a commander that activates the NRF2 pathway. This is the master defensive switch of the human cell. When you consume these sprouts, you are essentially hitting a panic button that tells every beta cell to arm itself with an army of protective enzymes, superoxide dismutase and glutathione. This cleaning crew neutralizes the toxic byproducts of glucose manufacturing before they can dissolve the cell from within. It turns a defenseless, overworked factory into a fortified fortress, giving your remaining cells the breathing room they need to stop failing. But cleaning the environment is only half the battle. We must also stop the active destruction. This is where the deep power of turmeric and its active compound, curcumin, becomes essential for the senior body. In the aging pancreas, when a cell feels it is too damaged to continue, it triggers a self-destruct sequence called apoptosis. It is a quiet, cellular suicide that thins your beta cell population day by day. Curcumin is the only compound known to intervene directly in this suicide pact. It moves into the cell and suppresses the executioner enzymes like caspase-3 that carry out the final death sentence. It stabilizes the endoplasmic reticulum, the part of the cell where insulin is folded into its functional shape, preventing the stress that usually leads to cellular collapse. For a person over 60, this is the difference between a pancreas that continues to wither and one that holds its ground. By calming the inflammatory fires and vetoing the death signals, we create a sanctuary within the pancreatic islets. This preserved environment is the only soil in which new life can eventually grow. Without this protective shield, any attempt at regeneration is like trying to plant a garden in the middle of a forest fire. We are not just managing a disease, we are halting a massacre, ensuring that every remaining insulin-producing cell is protected, cleaned, and ready for the next phase of our reconstruction. Once the internal fire is suppressed and the environment is cleaned, we move from mere survival to active reconstruction. This is the strategy of activate and regenerate, where we call upon the deep biochemical wisdom of bitter melon, black seed, and fenugreek to rebuild the infrastructure of your health. Bitter melon serves as our immediate backup generator. For a senior whose beta cells are struggling to produce enough insulin to keep the muscles fed, bitter melon provides polypeptide P, a plant-based insulin mimic. It binds to your cell receptors and opens the gates for glucose and protein, bypassing the broken signaling of a tired pancreas. This immediate relief stops the muscle-rotting stagnation, while the real work of reconstruction happens in the background. It also activates the AMPK pathway, the cellular energy sensor that triggers a deep cleanup and renewal process, signaling to your body that it is time to stop breaking down and start building up. The true architect of this new factory, however, is the black seed, or Nigella sativa. Its primary compound, thymoquinone, does something that was long considered a medical impossibility. It restores the very identity of your cells. In a state of chronic disease, many beta cells don't actually die. They simply forget who they are, reverting to a primitive state where they no longer produce insulin. Thymoquinone reactivates the PDX1 transcription factor, the master regulator of beta cell development. It essentially re-educates these dormant cells, reminding them how to sense glucose and how to manufacture the insulin your muscles so desperately need. This is followed by our most powerful foreman, fenugreek. While the other foods protect and restore, fenugreek's unique compound, diosgenin, focuses on the future. It activates the WNT signaling pathway, a fundamental developmental bridge that tells your dormant progenitor cells to divide and differentiate into brand new functional beta cells. This is the biological equivalent of opening a new manufacturing wing in an old factory. For the senior over 60, this is the ultimate victory. We are no longer just protecting the old, fading cells. We are stimulating the birth of a new generation of insulin producers. By combining the backup power of bitter melon, the identity restoration of black seed, and the birth signaling of fenugreek, we create a wave of regeneration that clears the stagnant sludge and returns a youthful, pulsing flow of energy to your muscles and your life. To transform this scientific knowledge into a living reality, you must move from understanding to a disciplined, 24-hour rhythm of reconstruction. For those over 60, consistency is the only language your cells truly respect. Your day begins the night before by soaking 2 teaspoons of fenugreek seeds in a glass of water. As you wake, drink this infused water and eat the softened seeds on an empty stomach. This ritual sends the first signal to your dormant WNT pathways, preparing your gut and your pancreas to handle the day's glucose with precision. By the time you reach the breakfast table, your body is ready for its primary shield. Add 1 to 2 ounces of fresh broccoli sprouts to your meal. This ensures that as your metabolism ramps up, a surge of sulforaphane is already circulating, activating the NRF2 defense system to neutralize the oxidative stress of your morning activities. At midday, as you consume your largest protein-rich meal to support muscle synthesis, you must introduce the guardian of survival, turmeric. Mix 1 to 2 teaspoons of high-quality turmeric with a generous grind of black pepper and a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. This combination ensures that the curcumin reaches your pancreatic islets and your muscle tissues, blocking the self-destruct signals and allowing that protein to be directed into the muscle fibers, rather than being wasted in a stagnant blood environment. In the late afternoon, when energy levels often dip and the risk of cellular identity loss is highest, take 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed black seed oil. This provides a focused burst of thymoquinone to stabilize your PDX1 expression, keeping your beta cells awake and functional. Finally, conclude your day with bitter melon during dinner or as an evening tea. This provides the crucial GLP-1 boost and the polypeptide P backup, ensuring your blood sugar remains stable through the night, preventing the nocturnal syrup from damaging your tissues while you sleep. This is not just a diet, It is a strategic schedule of biological commands that shifts your body from a state of decay to a state of constant, rhythmic repair. The journey we have taken today is more than a list of nutritional advice. It is an invitation to reclaim a territory you were told was lost forever. For too long, the narrative surrounding the senior years has been one of inevitable surrender. We are taught to expect the slow erosion of our strength, the fading of our energy, and the quiet betrayal of our organs. We are told to manage our decline as if we are nothing more than machines with a fixed expiration date. But the science of regeneration proves that your body is not a machine. It is a sophisticated, living ecosystem that responds to the environment you provide. The stagnant pond within you is not a permanent fate. It is a result of silence. The silence of signals that your DNA has been waiting to hear for decades. When you choose to incorporate these 5 foods, you are breaking that silence. You are telling your pancreas that its work is not finished. You are telling your muscles that they still have a reason to grow. You are moving from a mindset of slowing down to a mindset of powering up. This requires a profound shift in how you view your own biology. You must stop seeing yourself as a victim of time and start seeing yourself as the architect of your own internal chemistry. The molecules in these humble foods, sulforaphane, curcumin, thymoquinone, are the tools of that architecture. They are the keys that unlock the hidden factory within your abdomen, allowing the flow of life to return to your limbs and the fire of vitality to return to your eyes. The most profound lesson to be drawn from this is that healing is a proactive choice, not a passive occurrence. The body's capacity for renewal is limited only by the quality of the instructions we give it. By clearing the inflammation and restarting the insulin signals, you are essentially buying back your independence. You are choosing a future where you can stand strong, walk far, and live without the shadow of a syringe hanging over your life. This is the ultimate form of self-respect, to look at the challenges of age and refuse to be stagnant. The application of this lesson is simple but demanding. Start today. Do not wait for a perfect moment or a better diagnosis. Go to the store, find these seeds and sprouts, and begin the 24-hour cycle of repair. Start with one change, perhaps the fenugreek or the turmeric, and build your fortress brick by brick. Your body is waiting for your command. It is time to turn the flow back on and let the river of your health run clear and strong once more. Now that we have explored the power of these 5 foods and how they can save your muscles and your pancreas, I want to hear your perspective. If you could choose only one of these foods to start incorporating into your life tomorrow, which one would it be and why? Please share your answer in the comments below so we can all learn from each other's choices and experiences. If you found this deep dive into senior nutrition helpful and want to see more evidence-based strategies for reclaiming your health, please subscribe to EldraFit Nutrition. Your support gives us the motivation to keep uncovering these vital truths for our community.